My name is Eleanor Wright. I'm 85 years old. I'm telling you this because there isn't much time left to pretend anymore. I sit at my kitchen table most mornings, the same one I bought 40 years ago, and I look at my hands. They're thin now. The veins rise like little roads under the skin. I try to remember what they used to hold, and sometimes I can't. That scares me more than death ever has. I don't know who this story is for. Maybe it's for you. Maybe it's just for the quiet in this house. But I know it's not for me. I've already lived it. When you get to my age, people assume you're full of wisdom, that you've made peace with things. Some of that is true, but there are other things that don't soften. They don't turn into lessons or gratitude. They just sit there, heavy, unmoved by time. I spent most of my life doing what needed to be done. I let duty replace desire until there was nothing left. I didn't realize that's what was happening. That's important. I wasn't trying to be noble. I wasn't sacrificing anything on purpose. I was just being responsible, or so I thought. Now I wake up every day knowing exactly what I gave away and knowing I can't get it back. At 85, the world feels smaller. Not because it is, but because I am. My friends are mostly gone. My husband is gone. My children are busy with lives that don't have much room for an old woman who tells the same stories. The phone rings less every year. People talk about loneliness like it's dramatic. It isn't. It's quiet. It's forgetting the sound of your own laughter because no one's been around to hear it. That's where I am now, and this is how I got here. I grew up during a time when you didn't ask yourself what you wanted. You asked what was expected. That was the question. Everything else was indulgent. My father worked long hours. My mother kept the house immaculate. She never complained, at least not out loud. She moved through her days like a woman who understood her role and stayed inside it. I learned early that approval came from usefulness, from reliability, from not being a problem. I was good at that. In my 20s, I worked as a secretary for an insurance company. I was efficient, organized, dependable. My boss trusted me with everything. I took pride in that. I wore sensible shoes and pressed blouses. I packed my lunch every day to save money. There were things I wanted then. I loved to write. I used to stay up late scribbling in notebooks, little stories, thoughts, half-finished scenes. I never showed them to anyone. They felt private, almost embarrassing. Writing didn't seem practical. It didn't seem responsible. So I kept it small, something I did after everything else was finished, and everything else was always finished last. I married Thomas when I was 27. He was kind, steady. He worked as an accountant. He wanted a family. He wanted stability. That sounded right to me. I loved him, I think, or maybe I loved the safety he offered. It's hard to separate those things now. We bought a modest house. I stopped working when the children came. That's what you did. I told myself I was lucky, and in many ways, I was. I cooked, I cleaned, I volunteered at school. I remembered birthdays. I packed lunches. I made sure everyone else had what they needed. There was always something that needed doing. Desire doesn't announce itself loudly. It waits. It assumes you'll come back when you have time. I kept thinking I would. When the kids were older, when things settled down, when there was less to manage. But life doesn't settle. It just shifts. In my 30s, I was tired all the time, not exhausted in a dramatic way, just worn thin. I remember standing at the sink one afternoon, washing dishes, watching the light fade through the window. I felt something then, a kind of ache. I couldn't name it, so I ignored it. That became a pattern. I delayed phone calls to friends. I postponed hobbies. I skipped invitations because it was easier to stay home and catch up on chores. I told myself I was being efficient, practical, mature, but slowly the world got narrower. Thomas worked late often. When he was home, he was tired. We talked about bills, about the kids, about schedules. We didn't talk about ourselves. There never seemed to be a reason to. I assumed there would be time for that later. Later is a dangerous word. In my 40s, I went back to work part-time. The kids were mostly grown. I should have felt freer. Instead, I filled every open space with more responsibility. I volunteered more. I took on extra tasks at work. I became the person people relied on. They praised me for it. That felt good. It felt safer than wanting something that might not come. The writing stopped around then, not abruptly. It just faded. I'd open a notebook and feel foolish. What was the point? Who did I think I was? So I stopped trying. I didn't miss it right away. That's the cruel part. You don't feel the loss until it's already gone. In my 50s, Thomas had a heart scare. He recovered, but something changed. He slowed down. He became quieter. I became more careful. Life turned into maintenance. I told myself this was adulthood, that longing was for younger people, that wanting more was ungrateful. I believed that. There were moments, though, standing alone in the grocery store aisle, hearing a song from years ago, seeing an old woman painting in the park, watching someone speak with passion about something that mattered to them. Those moments hurt in a dull way. I didn't linger on them. I was too busy being needed. Thomas died when I was 62. It wasn't sudden. He was sick for a long time. I took care of him. I did it well. I don't regret that. But when he was gone, and the house was quiet in a way I'd never known, something cracked open. For the first time, there was nothing urgent to tend to. I remember sitting on the edge of the bed that first night alone, realizing I didn't know what to do with myself. Not in a dramatic way, just blank. That's when the clarity came, not all at once, in pieces. I saw how much of my life had been spent responding instead of choosing, how often I'd silenced myself because it seemed easier, how many small wants I'd dismissed because they felt selfish. There was no explosion of grief, just a slow, sinking understanding. I was 62 years old, and I didn't know what I desired anymore. That's a hard thing to admit. People say it's never too late. That's kind, but it isn't always true. I tried after Thomas died. I took a writing class at the community center. I joined a book club. I even went on a few dates. But the hunger was gone, or maybe I trained myself not to feel it. Desire is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it weakens. I could still enjoy things. I wasn't miserable, but there was a distance between me and the world that hadn't been there before. The things I might have built earlier required time, practice, risk. I had less of all three. That realization was heavy. In my 70s, friends started disappearing. Illness, accidents, quiet passings. You start to understand that memory is fragile, that the version of you that existed in other people's minds fades when they do. I thought I'd be remembered more. Not in a grand way, just more solidly, more clearly. But when I hear my name now, it's usually attached to roles. Wife, mother, volunteer, reliable. Those are fine things, necessary things. But they aren't the whole of a person. I don't think anyone really knew me, not because they didn't care, but because I didn't show them. I kept myself small, manageable, useful. That's what I regret most. Not that I didn't become famous or fulfilled some grand dream, but that I never fully arrived in my own life. I was always just passing through on my way to the next obligation. Now at 85, the days are simple. I water my plants, I read, I nap, I watch the light change in the afternoon. There is peace in that. I won't deny it. But there's also a quiet grief that doesn't leave. It's the grief of unrealized selfhood, of knowing there was a person inside me who never got enough air. I don't blame anyone for this, not my parents, not my husband, not my children. I made reasonable choices, sensible choices, choices that made sense in their moment. That's what makes it so hard. Regret doesn't always come from mistakes. Sometimes it comes from consistency, from always choosing the same thing because it feels safe, from assuming there will be time to circle back. Time doesn't circle, it moves in one direction. If I could speak to you directly, I wouldn't tell you to chase dreams or abandon responsibilities. Life doesn't work like that. But I would tell you this: notice what you keep postponing. Pay attention to what you tell yourself you'll do when things calm down. Things don't calm down. You just get older. Desire doesn't shout, it whispers, and if you ignore it long enough, it stops speaking. I wish I had known that being dependable isn't the same as being alive. That approval fades faster than fulfillment. That no one gives you permission to want something. You either claim it quietly or you don't. I don't have many years left. I can feel that in my body, in the way I move, in the way time slips. I've accepted that, truly. But I carry this story because I don't want it to disappear with me. If you're listening to this and it stirred something uncomfortable, sit with that. You don't have to act, just don't dismiss it. That's all. I'm 85 years old. My name is Eleanor. This is the truth of my life, and now I let it rest.